on Facebook. So, real quick, what's up, Facebook? I see y'all. Hey, so again, it is your girl, that brand story chick. I want to go ahead and dive into the conversation that's been on my mind a little bit today, or maybe a little bit longer than today. So, just real quick, I wrote a note about it for myself, and it is about retiring the dirty C word. Now, y'all probably have fallen in love with this word. I'm pretty sure, because if you, like anybody else around this world, um, have used this word, then chances are you think you're doing something great. And that word, y'all, is consistency. Okay. So it is time to retire the word consistency. Why am I saying that? Because it's not about consistency being hard. Let me just preface this part right here. It is not about consistency being hard. It is about consistency being antithetical to the human design. Okay? And I'm not talking about the astrological study or the I Ching study, whatever study that is, the whatever study. I'm just talking about the way humans were made. The consistency of showing up every single day, for instance, on social media, is antithetical to human relationships, it's antithetical to human capability, it's antithetical to human mental health. Okay, y'all? And you may think I'm being a little bit crazy about this, but I'm promising you that this is not a word that everyone gets to embrace and live without guilt and shame. So here's the thing. You're probably going to counter me with discipline. That's another bad word in the way that it's often used, right? Because people are often using the words such as consistency and discipline as these end all, be all things that are going to solve the world's problems of why you don't have enough money, or why you are not climbing the ladder like you think you should be climbing, or why you are not as successful as you think you ought to be. It has to be because you lack discipline and you are not being consistent. But here's the thing, y'all: consistency without intention, without even passion to a point, without purpose for real, is just pandering, is just pageantry, is just a dog and pony show for the onlookers. There is no real substance in being consistent day in and day out in the way that it is marketed. So for instance, I I found, okay, so there's a couple things. And this is really what I wanted to talk about, because boils down to the heart of it. Y'all, on a personal level, I work every single day just about, right? Or I did every single day. And so I have involved myself in different challenges: 30-day challenges, 7-day challenges, 5-day challenges. And the thing about these challenges are that there's always this preaching of consistency, in that meaning every single day. Y'all, I don't think consistency means every single day. And on top of that, I think consistency depends upon the relationship you're having. Am I wrong? Because look at this. I consistently met with a group of ladies throughout the pandemic for about 2 years, every single Sunday. I think I missed two, but consistently, it was once a week, every single Sunday. When I started dating my partner, we talked every single day. Which of those was more sustainable? Really? Now, to say that um, because we were in a romantic relationship that he had to talk to me every single day is like, I don't know. It's what I'm talking about. It's like there's these pressures to be something you're not. I am not a daily communicator. I will not I will not show up every single day because I don't have the capacity. And that is where I'm getting to. So consistency is about capacity. It's not about an everyday thing. It's not about showing up every single day. It's not about doing the same exact work every single day. That's not even discipline. That is literally forcing yourself to be something you're not. And what that consistency then does is erode. It becomes a grind. It becomes like, what do they call those things? The stone. I forget the name of it, but it just grinds you. If this is literally against your makeup, against who you are, to show up and do something every single day on grind without purpose, without passion, but because you think you have to, is going to wear you down like sandstone. That's what I was looking for. So the only thing that's consistently happening is that you yourself is being eroded. Your joy in showing up for work, or your joy in showing up online, your joy in sharing what you know with people, that stuff gets eroded day in and day out because we are being forced, and forced, let's say, I don't want to say supernaturally, but like nobody's like literally holding you down, but you're being forced through the pressure, the social media pressure, these coaches and mentors who are out here with no real training. Let's get that understood. That these people who have no idea how to work with the human mind, and so therefore are creating more problems for people, but they're telling you that consistency equals every single day. And that's not what consistency is. Again, that depends on your relationship. Okay. So for me, the consistency will be showing up every week. That is consistency. I don't have to show up every day. I don't have to grindstone every day. Because guess what? I just tried it. And this is what got me thinking about it. There were a soup of things that got me thinking about it. But one of them is I tried it. I am part of a TikTok challenge and I love my friend. And I'm glad that she did this challenge because here's what I got to understand about me. I don't do the everyday because if I do, and I did for like 3 or 4 straight days. But if I do, I get worn down. Y'all, I don't have spoons like this. I have to give myself grace and space to be the neurodivergent person that I am. I have to give myself grace and space to be the human being that I am. I have to give myself grace and space to be the mother that I am. I have to have time for my children. Right? So I don't really have time for the everyday in something that ultimately to me, I'm gonna put it here, but please understand it's not 100% that way. But ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, when compared to relationships and what have you, it matters less than the other things. And that might be a hard pill to swallow, but here's what I'm saying. We don't need to be looking at consistency as a daily grind, a daily hustle of doing the things that are going to wear us down. That's not what consistency is. Consistency is finding a rhythm that works for you. Okay. Consistency could be skipping every 2 days and then coming back, every 3 days, then coming back, once a week and coming back. That used to be what consistency meant back in the YouTube era, for instance. It's like every Wednesday at 3:00, my video is going to drop. It's going to premiere. You know what I mean? That was consistency. But something happened where we started being programmed by the algorithm instead of programming the algorithm. We're being programmed by the algorithm to show up every single day, to post 5 to 6 times a day on Twitter. I don't, but to post 2 to 3 times on Instagram or on TikTok, to make sure that you do a carousel, a story, a reel, and a static post. You're being programmed by the algorithm instead of programming the algorithm. Like, so the consistency and discipline that people are training you to have in order to be successful is really making you, if it does, successful in one area of your life, but pretty unsuccessful in other areas. It's the truth. So then comes these other solutions. Batch, right? And batching is awesome for the person who can devote an entire day to pulling themselves away from their relationships, to pulling themselves away from their life, to just zero in and focus on creating this content that they hope people are going to see. Y'all, do we get to stand up to the computers at any point in time? So it's not about consistency, it's about capacity. It's not about discipline, it is about destiny. Like, what is it that you are here to do? So, understanding that I do have this duty to show up. I do. Let's get that correct. I do. I'm not saying don't ever. But here's the thing, I don't need to be in your face every day for you to know that I have value. And you don't need to be in my face every day for me to know that you have value. I remember when live stream started. This feels like such a long time ago. Shall I talk about the time we crossed the river and got diphtheria? No, wait, that's Oregon Trail. But my point is, almost 8 years ago, during the beginning of Periscope, there was this coach that I thought was very amazing, and she's still successful to this day. But she was on live stream 3 to 4 times a day, 3 to 4 times a day. And it was ridiculous. Like, she honestly turned me off of the thought of being on live. She turned me off of the thought of being in business because if I had to work that hard, I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Because if that is what consistency and discipline look like, I didn't want that. Because the thing is, y'all, and this is where I'm trying to get back to. I'm trying to get back to in real life. That's what I want. I want in real life, right? So my consistency is going to be in having live workshops and live trainings here in Atlanta. That is going to be my consistency. Every other month, every quarter, I'm going to figure that part out because I do have a lot to teach people. But also, it's still my calling to help people like really hone in on what it is that they want to do with their business, their stories, like all those things, right? Writing stories, speaking, all that thing, right? So that's where I want to go consistently. I want to be in real life more consistently than I am now because the real memories, the real things that matter tend to happen offline, right? So online is typically your highlight reel, but the things that you carry forward with you through life tend to happen offline. I'm not saying I don't have good online memories. I do, y'all, because I've taught some people and I've been in discussions that I love with people I've never met in real life. So I'm not saying that that is not a thing. However, what I am going to say is that at the end of the day, it's the real relationships that matter, whether they are online or offline, but the real relationships that matter. And those are the relationships that you need to show up for consistently, not the thousands of people out there whose faces you will never meet. Yes, there is truth in if you show up, it might be saving the life of one person. But I always will believe that no opportunity is missed when it's for you, when that is part of your assignment. So I will not be guilted into being online every day, 2 to 3 times a day, just to make sure I can train the algorithm. No, that means the algorithm is training you. The algorithm is training you if you feel like you have to be online all the time. So here's the thing. Don't let anybody guilt you into consistency because they obviously don't know the meaning of the word. Consistency is about a pattern, it's about a rhythm, it's not about an everyday. It's not about it every day, right? So please understand what your capacity is, right? So I have done, like for instance, I just did a challenge last week, and I actually have one coming up this week. It's called the Speed Date Your Audience Challenge. It's a really, really, really good challenge, and it's done for 4 days. Guess what I'm going to do? After those 4 days, I'm going to take off 3 and be with my family because my capacity is that I'm going to need a break and a rest to watch some romance movies, to play some card games with my kids. But I understand what I need for me. I understand what I need for me. And you need to understand what you need for you. And I can promise you, it's not to show up every day online. It is not to burn yourself out in consistency and discipline. It is not to wear yourself out, and it's not to be trained by this algorithm. You are to train the algorithm. And you're training the algorithm by saying, I will be here every week. I will not be here every day. That is how you train the algorithm yourself instead of being trained by the algorithm. So I do have a different discussion to talk about tomorrow. So I will likely be here tomorrow for that, simply because I want to make sure there's a space between this one and that one. We're going to talk about the resistance, y'all. We're going to talk about resistance. Are you joining the resistance, or are you allowing that resistance to keep you from joining your own success? Y'all, it's a real good talk. I can't wait to have it with y'all. See you tomorrow. Peace out. Y'all go and live in your capacity. Bye, y'all. Peace out, Instagram. Okay. And bye, Facebook. Thank y'all for hanging out with me.